presents.
Hi, my name is Penny Tyndall, and I am the new host for the podcast called The Professionals. We will be broadcasting this podcast live every first and third Wednesday of the month at 10:15 a.m. Tune in and learn about local businesses and their innovative minds behind them. Each episode, we will journey through the unique stories of our neighborhood entrepreneurs and nonprofits and uncover the passion, the challenges, and the triumphs that drive our local economy. Join us as we explore how dedicated individuals are crafting not only vibrant enterprises, but also are more connected to our local Las Vegas and Henderson community. Stay tuned. I'll see you soon. Penny Tyndall. Hello, Las Vegas. This is Penny Tyndall, and I want to welcome you to my show, The Professionals. And what I do is I interview local business owners, entrepreneurs, and sometimes nonprofits. And my main goal is to educate, collaborate, and celebrate my local businesses. So, like I said, the podcast starts every first and third Wednesday at 10:15 a.m. So, welcome in. As you can see, I have my lovely guest. She has titled herself the Insurance Geek. This is Sabrina Reed with American Family Insurance. So, Sabrina, I've known you for a while. I'd say you're friendly. I've never thought of you as a geek, but I'd love to hear how you got the tagline. Why don't you go ahead and let us know about the story behind the name?
Well, thank you. It happened years ago at an old agency I worked for. I was at a trade show, and there was one of the vendors had those little pins, and it said on there Insurance Geek. So I picked the pin up and I told everybody in my office, about 10. I was like, if there was ever a pin that personified me ever, this is it. So then I always thought of myself like I am the insurance geek. I don't watch the news. I don't do regular news, but I do watch a lot of insurance newsletters, news updates, all of that stuff for insurance. So I'm like, I really am the insurance geek.
Okay, I love that. I love that. And, absolutely. I have referred you clients. Most of them have been senior clients. And they didn't use the word geek, but they did say that you were very informative, that they felt confident, and they didn't need to shop around. So I think that coming from a 65 plus community, that just, shows your integrity that comes through. So right now, I know we're all saying, oh, our insurance went up. What is the reason for that? If somebody came to you and they were concerned about their insurance going up in their home or their car, what would be the first thing that you would do to help the patron out?
Well, I'm a really big advocate of understanding insurance and why you need specific amounts of insurance and limits and extra coverages. And I'm really passionate about explaining what is needed, why you need it, and putting it into real life examples. So, I relate with people by their stories. So people need to know the stories that go with insurance. So I would definitely explain inflation. Nobody wants to hear the words inflation. Everybody's over it. I am too. But it's finally hit the insurance industry. So, we had all of those big inflation hikes from 2020 and 2021. Well, the insurance industry is just now catching up to those. So the costs of repairs and quality work has increased exponentially, and that's where you're going to see the biggest, the biggest increases in your premiums, is because it costs so much to fix your car, to fix your house. I don't know if you remember back in the old school days, you get rear-ended and it would cost you, 500 bucks to repair that bumper. Well, now with all that technology in your bumpers, and I mean, even your rear view mirror has that technology. It costs a lot more. I mean, you're looking at like $5,000 after recalibrating those cameras and the backup sensors. So our cars have just gotten more expensive, and so the repairs have gotten more expensive on them as well. And the same goes for your home. Lumber has increased, but mostly the cost of qualified contractors. There aren't enough, and they don't have enough time, and you really want to do your homework on your contractors to come out and fix your home as well.
Well, I love that. And I know I usually just choose car insurance, but I did see that you do auto, home, life, and business.
Yes.
So you are helping me with my publication, Desert Foothills Living, and you wrote a fantastic article on cybersecurity and everything like that. So why don't we touch that, because that works also for your home and your business.
Yes, absolutely. You know, with all the technology, again, we're so dependent on technology, and we're always at risk. You're at risk on your cell phone, your personal cell phone. You're always at risk for some sort of cyber attack. And a cyber attacks happen every 40 seconds in the world, overall, the whole world. And sometimes those small businesses can go under after one attack. You're responsible for notifying all of your customers. Plus, you have to provide them with a credit report. So they have to get two reports a year for about like 7 years. And that can really put a small business under. So cybersecurity is definitely a passion of mine. I offer it to all of my business customers, and if it's available in on a home policy, I'm always going to talk about it. Even if you rent out your property, and you don't use the property manager, you could be at risk for cyber attack, based off of your cell phone. So we actually offer something like that now. And I just got one in the mail. Ticketmaster was breached in May of this year, and so everybody knows. I mean, I'm sure everybody has purchased a ticket on Ticketmaster at some point, and so be on the lookout for those letters. And if you see any weird activity, you should let them know for sure, for sure.
You were talking about Ticketmaster, and that's so true. And we also have our kids, starting at maybe 12 years old, maybe younger, going on the internet, surfing, buying things on their parents' Amazon or whatever. And the parent doesn't even know. So when they see a letter or something, they're like, I've never even bought off of Timu or whatever. But guess what? Your kid did. And I just also heard of a property management company that Appfolio, at least their Appfolio, I don't know if it was Appfolio nationwide, but they got purged during when they were getting paid at the first of the month, and that was $30,000 worth of income, right? That was coming to the owners, right? And then the property manager. So I know that they're chasing their tail, trying to work on that. Definitely a referral that I need to send to you, because I just heard about it a couple of days ago. But the main thing is, when you're a business owner, especially like me and you, we're small business owners. Something that comes unexpected, 10, 20,000, can be very detrimental, right? There's a lot of entrepreneurs out there.
Absolutely. So, there's a few steps you can take. Just be vigilant. When you get those weird text messages, I get them from the post office all the time, or UPS. Just don't click those links. if you if you think that it might be spam related, report it. Just be vigilant on those, and don't give your information obviously through your cell phone or even your email. Always report those. Always make sure that you have updated versions of your operating systems, because there are cybersecurities built into those. But you can also avoid some of that with multi-factor authentication, just so that it texts you something and you have to approve it before it will log you in. All of those things, they're so tedious, and I know that you're just like, oh, another one, but really they're there to protect you. They're safeguards to protect you and your customers, or even if it's just like, I mean, you could be responsible for if somebody like hacked into your Zelle and and requested money from you, or from your friends or something. You could be held responsible for that. So you definitely want to just go with, always set up those multi-factor authentications.
Okay, that's good to know. I do have those and I lose my mind, but now I feel more confident in what you're saying. Even my children will tell me, Mom, don't click on that link. And I'm like, well, they know my name. I was on that site, but maybe it's one letter off or something. So, yeah, I don't click. Sometimes I'll just go on the main website if it says, and then if it's not a website, it's no domain or whatever, I know. But yeah, they're getting us everywhere. And of course, with our phone, we're just clicking fast. We're not even looking. We want things done or now, not later. So that is great information. Now, I love that you have a team, and you have Julie and Will. And I'd love to tell us how you built your team, one being included, of course, is your beautiful daughter.
Yeah, well, when I made the decision to open my own agency, I wanted to stop working for somebody else. Um, she worked with me at my old job. She left. She was starting her own business, and she's doing dog training. Well, when I made the decision to open my own agency, I just like said, "Hey, would you want to work for me?" And she was like, "Well, yeah." So honestly, nothing happens without her. She was just on vacation. My granddaughter's birthday was Friday, so she was just on a vacation, and so and she's camping, so no, she didn't have any cell service, and I had to, swing it all by myself. I was on the phone 3 times a day for like an hour. Okay, how do I do this? How do I do that? So she does everything. I'm the face. I go out. I do these things. I do networking. I host lunches. I sponsor things. But when it comes to the work, she does the work. Nothing happens without her. And then we do have a life insurance specialist. His name is Will. He's been with me for about a year. And, we're just really trying to push that life insurance. It's so important that you have some sort of coverage in place, even if it's just a little bit. Nobody likes to pass the hat around when you have a loss. And you can avoid that with really inexpensive life insurance. And there's so many additional things that are built into your life insurance policy. There are living benefits that are built in as well for disability, or if you're diagnosed with a terminal illness. You don't just get to collect after you pass. Plus, there's if you get those permanent policies, they build cash value. You can take a loan out. If you need to if you need to replace your pipes in your house, which I'm dealing with right now, you just take a loan out on your life insurance, and you don't have to pay it back. It will take out of your benefit when you do pass. But I mean, how amazing is that? That not only do you get life insurance, but you can take a loan out against it as well. And that goes for the children too. So we have wonderful. Actually, American Family was voted the best juvenile policy in the country. So, and they're really inexpensive. And, most importantly, they protect your child's future employability. If anything happens to them between now and they're 35, they can always keep that policy. Plus, they have that savings account. Maybe they need to, buy their first car or, pay for their first year in college or something like that. I mean, there's so many benefits to having a life insurance policy, and it's not just the death benefit. So
Right,
I'm
right. You can
about
benefit. Yes, that's what you think about life insurance. You think about that's to care for the family afterwards. It's not really benefiting you. A lot of seniors, they thought they had, they were making enough money, the inflation and everything. They're living a lot longer than they anticipate. I mean, I've met an 86-year-old woman that I wouldn't have no clue. She seems very active in the community, and she says I had to pull some money. I think she pulled it off her life insurance because she didn't know she was going to be around so long, and her husband had passed a lot sooner. So, yeah, it's called peace of mind, right? And
right.
and that's what it is really they need to sit down with you and talk about their goals and needs, and then you will, you know, cater. It's all customized, right? It's not Penny. This is your policy. 5 minutes later, bing, I've got an email out to me. Um, and I am an American Family Insurance patron, right? I use American Family. I've had very few accidents, but I have the peace of mind because my younger children are also on my insurance still. So, they could cause some damage to, for me if something happened to them. So I understand that. Now, we always talk about community, and I actually met you, I think, at a network event at the Palms Hotel. Is that correct?
Yeah. What was it? It was a mixer. I can't
It was
remember.
a mixer, maybe the NFL alumni or something over there. And I know you do a lot of women's network. I see me and you were really into the community. So I know that you're also part of a cool organization, which I haven't had the opportunity to jump into. But it's the Polka Dot. Is that what it's called?
Yes. So I'm actually involved in a lot of women's groups. I think that women need women who are out there lifting them up and supporting them, and also who understand like the unique like way we run our businesses. Women are heart centered. They're heart leading. We're emotional beings. We want to connect and we want to educate, and that's really been important to me is to connect with the women in my community that are they're dealing with the same things that we are, the small business owners or with their families, and it's hard to balance that out. And so I got connected with the polka dots, and the polka dots is not they're not you don't have to be associated with a business to join. It's business and personal. And so it's just really leading with that relationship and not leading with your business. We're just really focused on building meaningful connections with each other so that we can be friends, and we can you really learn to trust the people that you're around when you build that relationship. And I love the polka. I have been searching for this group for my all of the time I've been networking. I started networking in 2017, and I just couldn't find like my people. And they're my people. Just a lot of wonderful women involved, and really, just everybody's there to help and to listen. And it's not about like what's in it for me. It's about
Right.
what can I do for you? How can I help you? How can we grow together? How can I mean, I'm gonna have a pool party. Do you guys want to come? And we'll, just really meaningful connections, and that's really important to me. We
Well,
do business with people we like, know, and trust, but we all need friends.
we all need friends, and I generally listen to satellite radio, but I was listening to 94.1, and I guess there was a national report that came out that in like 19, I want to say it was like 1954 or 1965, before I was born. I was born in 66, so before Penny. There was a report that was done, and they just recently did the same survey. And on it, it said that even with all the technology, we all have, 3,000 Facebook friends, 1,000 Instagram. We have all these friends, but the average person will tell you that they only have 2 to 4 people. Over 80% of the people said they really only have 2 to 4 people that they felt would have their back if something happened. And up to, I want to say it was a little over 10%, so they have no friends. And I'm like, okay, that's probably the people that are messing around. But I sat in my car driving, and I'm like, oh, I have tons of friends. I do tons of networking. But then when I categorized it, I had a lot of business professionals, right? People that I refer to, but I wouldn't know. Well, most of the time I know if they have kids and everything, just because what I do for a living. But I really didn't know, do they live in Henderson, the Southwest, or anything like that. Um, so I had about 8. So, but I'm out there all the time, and I get my energy from people. So, I need to have more than 2 to 4. But when you were telling me about the polka dot, what happens with women, because I just met with 3 business owner women, and they're like, they are kind of like workaholics. That's, I used to call myself a workaholic, and then I decided workaholic is a very negative word. A workaholic is like an alcoholic, on work mode. And so we need a balance. So what you're saying is, with the polka dots, I know I see your Facebook feeds and everything. Not only do you work your business, you work your relationships, and family is key, correct? For you, family and friends?
Absolutely, absolutely. I have that desire to connect with people, and I did too. I have a lot of people that are like friends, they're business associates, but do am I inviting all of those people to go on vacation with me, or to like come to my house for my birthday?
I'll
Or
go.
it's a very small group, and I wanted to meet more people who are at the same level in their life as me, because we all have our friends we've known since like kindergarten, or we met in high school, or even as a young parent. My kids are grown, but we're all at different stages in our life, but like me, I've grown so much in the last 2 years since I opened my agency, that I need to be surrounded with people who are going forward and going up, who are not complacent in their life, who are want to be like building and growing, and up here,
Right.
instead of people that are just coasting along. And it's not that I don't have that love for those people, because I do. I absolutely love them. But you have to surround yourself with the people who are going to lift you up and hold you accountable, and just help you with growth. And that was really, really important to me. I need to be surrounded by people who are like-minded and who are in growth mode, because I am in growth mode.
I love that. So you said you had just mentioned that you've been in business for 2 years, and I know you have done my publication for over a year. So when was your 2-year anniversary? I did not know that.
It was July 13th.
Ooh, July. I have so many celebrations in July, so I'm definitely going to be celebrating you next July. You're just down the street from me off of Lake Mead in Tenaya. And the great thing for me is when I call you or text you, you respond, right?
Yeah.
We hear about all these virtual assistants, and maybe some of them will work for certain industries. But when people call you, do you think most of the time they're on information mode or panic mode?
It can really go both ways, you know. I mean, a lot of people, there is definitely a lot of panic mode happening right now, especially with the insurance industry. It's it's called the hard market. There's a lot of people in panic mode, but I don't like to conduct my business that way. I don't like to be reactive. I like to be proactive. So we are reaching out before they, they get that. My insurance went up and it's due in 3 days, and it went up $80. We're reaching out to people 45 days before that happens. And offering, hey, let's review your policy. If you're going to be having an increase come up, let's talk about some things, how we can possibly save you some money. We can, mitigate some of that increase by discounts, things like that. Let's just get on the phone. I'll do a phone conversation, Zoom. I'll even have them come into the office. Let's review your policies, just so that I'm up to date, you're up to date, and we can have that conversation. I do not like to be reactive. So what happens is they're saying, oh, yeah, you did call me. You tried to make an appointment with me last month, but I couldn't do it. And now my payment's due in 3 days. And that's usually how it goes. It's not like
Right.
they remembered I called, I texted, or I emailed. And, well, it was Julie, not me.
So, okay, so now it's back to school time. We've all been in that summertime mode, where a lot of us, my kids are going to college. I have, whatever you call that, empty nester syndrome coming up soon. But with that, as an insurance geek, what would you tell the people out there now that they're going to be hitting the street with all these kids in school zones? Is there something that you want to address with the back to school market coming in just next week, Monday?
It's safety. My sister-in-law is a bus driver, a school bus driver, and she always has to tell me, and like she's like, can you please put it on your social media? Just you know, parents need to tell their kids how to cross the street when they get off of that bus. You kids are supposed to, they're not supposed to go behind the bus. They have to go in front of the bus because all the cars are stopped at the front of the bus.
Oh,
And that's one thing that she really that she's really passionate about too. A lot of children are hit by vehicles, especially like the first couple of weeks of school, and it's just because they don't know. Just being really hyper aware of all pedestrians. I know we try to be aware of pedestrians all the time, but sometimes I'll be looking to the left as I'm rolling to turn to the right, and then I'm like, oh, there's somebody there. So it even happens to me, and we just have to pay attention, be aware. Put your phone down. Number one thing,
put your phone down. Yes.
don't, even if you have a stoplight or a stop sign or something, just make sure that you're still stopped before, and you're looking around, you're looking up before you turn the corner, because those pedestrians, those come out of nowhere. They might be behind the light pole or something when you pulled up, so you don't see them. So, and kids will just run out in the middle of the street all the time. That's a big pet peeve of mine.
That is a pet peeve. And my youngest daughter told me, Mom, you always have to use your turning signal. I'm pretty good at turning signal, but now I'm diligent. So number one, the car behind me knows. But also, if a kid is thinking of crossing the street, they can see I'm going to make a right turn, and and also give room for the crosswalk. I mean, the crosswalk should be open, right? So if somebody runs, even though the light turned green, you know, don't gun it. A lot of the young people just gun it. And I'm like, no, you need to sit there for, 10 seconds because you just never know who's going to run across for a bus stop, right? Or something like that. They've got to get to the bus. So,
Well, and that is where a lot of people will like run that yellow light. And so if you're the first person at your red light and you don't take a pause, and everybody will honk at you or whatever, but it's more important to be safe than get honked at. So if you just take the pause for a second, because somebody could be running that yellow light and T-bone you, or you could T-bone them. I mean, no, it wouldn't be your fault. They ran the light, but just a couple of seconds, just to let like everything set in before you go. It's a good idea, especially here in Las Vegas. Everybody, like, a yellow light doesn't mean to slow down
speed up.
or caution. It means speed up. You're gonna miss it.
So you're absolutely right. I mean, my car is my zen, so I'm pretty relaxed in my car, even though everywhere else I seem pretty hyped up. But it is my zen. So for me, I'm pretty a cautious driver. But yeah, things pop up. People pop up. Pets pop up. My brother just had a tire bust and he was in the middle of nowhere and it hit his car. He was okay, but he was stuck in a remote area, and his American Family Insurance helped him get a tow and everything. And so he was in some Texas town for 3 days waiting to fix his Cadillac. But anyway, so we're run out of time. Sabrina is a good friend of mine. I can definitely tell you that she's trustworthy. She's honest. Her team is there to answer your calls, and she's the insurance geek. So you know what? You have a question, you got someone that's going to love to answer your question. So before we head out, tell us about the Reed Company, Reed Insurance, and how they can contact you guys before we step out of the studio.
Yeah, and I just want to reiterate that I love it. I love questions. I love when people ask me a question. Everybody says, "Oh, I'm sorry I asked so many questions." No, I love it. I love it. It means that you are educating yourself and you're paying attention. So I may not have all the answers, but I will find them out for you. And I have no problem with helping you to understand and finding out those answers. And like you said, my team on my office is on Lake Mead and Tenaya. We're in an executive suite in the big Bank of Nevada building. And you can reach us at theinsurancegeeknv.com, and that goes right to my website. And I'm on all the socials as Insurance Geek NV. And I'd love to hear from anybody. Bring me your weird questions because I want to know the answer to it, and I want to find out the answer if I don't already know it. It's a great industry. I'm always learning every single day.
Who would know insurance is fun? So thanks so much for coming in. It was a pleasure interviewing you, and I will see you probably at the next network event. Have a great day, and everybody out there, thanks for checking out the podcast, The Professionals, and we record live podcasts every first and third Wednesday at 10:15, and you can contact me at 702-420-8964. Everybody have a good night.
Thank you.
PR Connections Radio thanks you for watching this podcast. Check out more episodes of this show and our others at prconnectionsradio.com.